though, I think I almost feel like I'm the defender of the player sometimes. I guess I'm the aggressor as well, so it's only fair. But SortOf did face Uthermal, who is probably still the best non-Korean Terran. If not non-Korean Terran, then European for sure.
Yep.
And there's some, he's able to beat everyone. He's one of the guys that we laughed his last season. He said he was favored against Serral, and people were like, "That's ridiculous." But then you looked up the stats, and you're like, actually, of the few guys that can maybe take a series, it is Uthermal.
Yep.
So that's the level of play that he had to face in that rough first match. But we are getting into the game right now. These two handsome chaps, that's SortOf, and that is Clem. And it's going to be a good, I hope so. When we need Tasteless to make the prediction as to whether or not this will be a long, short, or medium match and how good it'll be. But
well, I think it's going to be a short one, Jeff, but more about that soon, because I've heard that certain strategies have a very high win rate in tournaments. In this matchup, spawning on the left top side of Acid Plant, we're looking in the main base of Clem. Now, Jeff, I want you to go on a tirade here about how some of these players have obviously already impacted young Clem, his innocent mind, and make him into the evil Terran that he's already becoming.
Well, I suspect you're talking about his French background. Is that what you're referring to?
No, not at all.
Introduce the other player? You're going to make me do it?
Yeah.
Lower right-hand side, from Sweden, it's SortOf. Ricard Bergman.
Now, I want to start an investigation. Who has corrupted little Clem? Because I do not believe that 16-year-old Terrans out there have the idea of doing crazy things like this. Building 3 barracks on the other side of the map. That's dirty. It's disgusting.
I see you starting this investigation. Let me help you along.
Who corrupted him?
Roll it back to WCS Austin when he faced Serral and believed that the odds were stacked against him. What did little, young, impressionable Clem reach for? 2 barracks proxy and a bunker rush, and it was defeated.
So he decided to step it up, go for 3, maybe even 4, Jeff. What if he
4 is you have to be at least 17 years old to do that.
Yeah, they don't allow that in France yet.
No. To unlock it later.
Age restriction.
And he's not showing anything yet. Obviously, you get a Marine or 2 out usually. Then you walk it over there. Does he go with the safety bunker, Roddy? Quickly predict it.
Maybe, yeah, the backup bunker,
wow.
right?
Sick prediction there, man.
That he can then fall back on.
Maybe, he says.
So SortOf is, well, I mean, those are not that safe. Those are pretty aggressive bunkers as well. He's just going to go for it immediately.
Reach, though, I think. Right? The first one doesn't reach, so yeah, it would qualify as safety.
All right, well, a lot of drones are being pulled, and this is, of course, a dance that we have seen a couple of times. It is important that you don't lose your Marines if you're Clem. So far, I think...
one SCV is going to die. The other SCV dies immediately.
Okay. But one bunker will go up.
Yeah.
And there is no spine crawler yet.
And then he just dies, I think.
What are you going to do? Are you going to jump on top of these bunkers?
If the second bunker finishes, this is over. I feel like it's down to that, and it looks like there's nothing to stop this.
Wow, you're going for some White Rock commentary there. It's GG.
Yeah. You say like it's a bad thing.
No, it's not at all. Nothing that White Rock has ever done is bad.
Can't know it.
Yeah, this actually looks pretty grim, doesn't it, Jeff? I'm trying to look at the...
It's a ridiculous build, man. It's so hard.
All right, well, we've got 10 more Zerglings on the way. It seemed like SortOf is just going to pull everything at once. Does he have another queen? No. So he's going to go for it. He's going to try to keep his hatchery alive. Here we go. All the drones, all the links, but the amount of Marines is too damn high. 10 Marines in bunkers, Jeff?
He killed a bunker that reaches the hatch, though, so he actually could pull back here, but... And I think the creeps pushed it far forward enough that
Jeff.
He could!
Jeff, I'm gonna do the Jeff thing here. I'm gonna stop you.
I'm trying to believe, Roddy. I guess from there he can just,
He's got 8 drones, Jeff.
I did not see that, to be fair. Yeah.
It's not looking all that good right now for SortOf, that's for sure. Zergling speed does kick in and it always looks cool, but then he loses all the links. GG! Clem takes game number 1 with a build that I believe has a ridiculously high win rate in tournaments, Jeff.
It's a little bit silly. I'll tell you what, so despite what some people think of me, they think of me as like a, I'll get mad, I'm like an angry guy or something like that. I don't. Actually, in all my StarCraft games, I almost never rage, ever. But if I was a Zerg in this day and age and this was done to me, that's the closest you would get to me saying something like no GG maybe the first time. Second time it happens, like a lol. Maybe an XD, which I never say, but I would in this case, where it's like, XD! And then on Twitter, I'd be like, I could see myself transforming into the Zerg where I'm like, something needs to be done about that. Can we talk about the bunker build time?
Bunker build time, maybe.
Can we talk about it?
I mean, there is a chance that Greetorp is watching. He's still active in the streams. He still stops by.
He's on the board like right now. He's like, no, I've calculated 4.5 more seconds, and this is balanced. But it's ridiculous. We make our jokes, but I'll tell you guys, let's put it this way. We've seen this attempted, is this the 4th time in the 4 days?
Yes.
4-0.
High win rate.
But done to Serral, he actually holds it off, and it makes it look silly, which is really...
It's funny, right? How can the difference be between all these guys that are obviously very good at StarCraft? How can Serral even make the difference in the first few minutes of a game?
And to me, there's not a simple answer, by the way. It's a great question, and we have time to talk about it. But to me, it's that Serral makes and takes the perfect engagements constantly. I thought, who was it that did this? Yesterday, someone had the really right idea, pull all the drones, create separation between the bunkers, and if you can pick off all those SCVs, that's it. If they pull SCVs from their main down to finish those bunkers, then you have 2 or 3 queens out, you've got lings, it just gets shut down right then and there. But nobody's been able to do that. And the funny part, too, and this has got to be the part that kills StarCraft players, is there's RNG to it. Like, hitting the SCV, and it's just like, actually... I'm in the middle now. And you're like, no!
Yeah, I was about to go there. That's the thing, right? You always want to pick off the SCV, but that's something that's a lot easier said than done. Because, yes, they always build that first bunker near the ledge or near the wall. And then it's like, you almost got it, and then suddenly it's
in the middle now.
Yep, and then you can't, and then you bring your queen forward, and then the bunker finishes up, and you're like, oh my goodness, is this really happening? Either way, what did happen is that this young man that's spawning on the right top side of beautiful Lost and Found has taken a very quick and cheeky 1-0 lead. It is Clem.
It's Clem.
Clement.
Yeah, what is it? Is that what it's short for? Oh yeah, it's his name, Clement. Yeah. Oh my god. The lower left-hand side could have called himself Rick, I guess, but instead he went with SortOf. You know what, though? It's not just StarCraft players. Because I check in on other esports, of course, and watch them, and a lot of their names are like their name backwards or like the first 4 letters. I'm like, all right. Whatever happened? Whatever happened to your Rotterdams? You know?
To be honest, that's a really
bad Dragon. Some of these.
Vampire Slayer is one of my favorites. Like, if I can go back in, if I can turn back the hands of time, I'd be Vampire Slayer 337.
It's crazy because you'd call yourself Vampire Slayer, but you would have been a Dragon Slayer.
Ha.
Ha! A reference that I think a lot of people will not get.
Look
up Urban Dictionary, maybe might have that one. But this is going to be. That was not pool first. That was hatch first. Just a normal opening from SortOf. Just gonna not blink. So you're not gonna do that twice.
No. There is a question, though, Jeff, that I have, and that I think a lot of viewers from StarCraft 2 have as well.
Yeah.
They'll be like, all right, guys, you guys are having your fun and your giggles, but all memes and jokes aside, if that build is that good...
Why not do it every game?
Why not do it every game? And I actually don't really have the answer. Like, what makes Clem do it on Asset Plan, but not on Lost and Found? Is he worried about that pool first? Obviously, if you take the pool before the hatchery, it becomes a lot stronger for Zerg, because then you get your queens out faster, you get the Zerglings out faster, and it's obviously a lot harder to pull off. But the funny thing is, I've seen it work against pool first as well. Maybe it's not supposed to, but it can work.
I would say it becomes unfavorable, though. Like, it can work if you can pull back to the 3 barracks and make enough Marines that they just can't take damage and then you push forward. There's situations where that happens, but I would say the Zerg is favored because there's not a full wall in on the other side. You're right, you get your queen out, you can get enough Zerglings going that the bunkers never happen, right? Unless they show up with 9 Marines again. And
yep, so I guess that is one of the reasons why you don't see it every single game, guys, because the Terrans are worried that sometimes the Zerg players might go for a pool before the hatchery.
How ridiculous is it when the queen... Let's do this for just 1 second. If we pretend that StarCraft is attempting to be, realistic, the queen, roughly 5-6 times the size of a Space Marine. A Space Marine is a 9-foot tall human being, or like 7-foot tall at least. So let's put the queen at something like 1,500 pounds, somewhere in that ballpark. The grenade launches her 20 feet in the air and 10 feet wide. But then it does like 3 damage to a Zergling. Does that make sense?
I think if you think about it like that, a lot of things don't really make sense.
That's true. I feel like it breaks down before that. I think you're correct on that.
Yeah. I think there's other things that we can fixate on other than the grenade. Maybe having.
We talked about it yesterday, but the whole fighting underwater still really bothers me. The
jetpacks, the Banshees.
Just all of it. We're shooting guns down there. Never mind. I can't.
Well, you don't know how gravity works on a different planet.
That's true.
Underwater, Jeff.
It could be like thinner water or something like that.
Exactly. Maybe it's not even water.
Maybe it's not. It's just like water air. They do.
Yeah.
So far, this is pretty inconsequential. We do see on that production tab that there's going to be cloaked Banshees coming out. That'll be where the real impact happens. If SortOf gets super greedy and doesn't build any spore crawlers, that'll become an issue, because if you notice, no lair just yet, unless, nope, there it is, just begins now. That's the curse, man, every time. Every time.
I love it. I mean, it was actually still kind of a fast lair as well, so it's not even that you said it at a moment where it was very likely to happen. It's not ultra fast, guys, but 4 minutes. This obviously means no Evo chambers, no additional buildings, no insane amount of queens early on. This is a pretty fast lair. Now, SortOf should obviously be very familiar with what is coming towards him. Like Ravi said as well, the European Terrans, they love their 6 Hellions and Cloak Banshees. Sometimes it's Hellions with Hellbats or a Medevac. Sometimes they sprinkle in the Liberator, but this is a very standard opening.
Ooh, Speed nice. Overlord again from SortOf. Last time when I saw that from him, he went with the drop and the huge timing attack. Would he do it again?
Well, the Banshee has showed up in the main base. There is a Spore Crawler, but in the natural, there's no Spore Crawler. Oh, Clem!
It's not moving.
Clem! That's, Clem.
Look at the queens come over and remind him. Over here.
Clem. Clem actually just missed an opportunity to kill 5 drones easily.
Yep.
And that's a big deal, guys. I mean, this is not to bash on
little... supposed to do.
Yep, this is not to bash on Clem, but that was a real opportunity there. The Spore Crawler was just started. The lair wasn't even done yet. There you do have your little Dropper Lord, Jeff. That is most likely going to carry a couple of queens to the other side of the map. I must say, I wasn't casting that game, but obviously watching it, I thought the hold of Utomo was really solid on Esfand, though, because that didn't look like an easy hold to me at all.
No. We talked a lot about it, but it was a very, very good hold. A lot of good target fire, a lot of preserving of the tanks.
Yep.
One of the differences, though, is that that was Uthermal taking a third at that time. If this attack hits now, unless Clem has some of the most unfortunate timing. In fact,
wow.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, he's got to turn around, sort of, right? He can't try for it.
Well, this bonk is going up as well, and Clem is like, all right, those drones I didn't pick off with the Banshee, I'm going to try picking them off with my Hellion, and so far he's pretty damn successful. That's 12, 13 drones going down. And obviously the attack was delayed because of all of this as well. There are bunkers, once again, guys. That first bunker was already there. He threw up 2 more bunkers behind it. We've got 2 Banshees that he could potentially repair. I don't know, Jeff. This isn't looking all that good for SortOf right now.
The tank is so far back. That's one of the most brilliant parts about this attack so far. If he can bust in there and get on top, it's going to be good, but there's 2 bunkers with a third to fall back on. He's repairing that one. Yes, one of the Banshees goes down. No drones in production, by the way. Keep that in mind. So he's actually down to 28. He has to kill Clem here and now, and I just don't see how it can happen.
I don't really like what he's doing with his queens either. It feels like they're just trying to run forward. I would have loved to see him go a little forward with the Dropper Lord and maybe drop them more in the offensive line. Let them soak up some damage. Yes, one of these tanks is finally starting to take some damage, but guys, this push is running out of steam. Most of the units have disappeared, and that's gonna be it. GG. Clem takes a very easy, quick, almost